Really quickly. And I wanted to say hi to my good friend Deb Murray, who's here, and she is always our official Tupperware girl.
How are you?
Always wonderful to see you.
I'm so honored to represent this iconic brand.
It is an iconic brand, and the last time you aired it with me, I bought so much Tupperware, and I love it. I like putting my thumb on it and hearing it go pop, and everything stays nice and fresh. This is it's called That's a Bowl Prep, Go, and Serve Set. And what you're gonna get is you're gonna get what I call three everything bowls, because you can put everything you want inside here.
Exactly.
And I love, Deb, the size. Finally, a big bowl to put my stuff in.
Exactly, like the bottom one here, this beautiful
that is a salad.
Magenta.
Look at that.
This is a 32-cup bowl. That's a bowl. Do you know how it got its name? At one of the parties, one of the customers goes, "Oh my gosh, now that's a bowl."
That's a bowl.
And that's how the name came about, and it stayed.
And if you're doing a party where you're serving many people, you need a bowl this size, whether you're putting in lettuce, or you're doing a big sort of a pasta salad, or you're doing something like chips, right? Because then you've got the room. It's a large capacity bowl, and of course, like most Tupperware out there, one bowl fits in the other, fits in the other, so it's easy to store.
Perfect.
I love this. This is a party bowl.
That's a party bowl.
Yeah.
But notice how it's got not just one of our normal, large, beautiful bowls. Again, all with a lifetime warranty. You're getting the 32-cup, but this one has a specific design. See the little ring hole here?
Yep.
That's designed so if I have my hand mixer here and I'm doing three batches of cookies, I can hold on to it. You also have the amazing seal, the seal that has made us so famous. It's airtight. It controls the humidity inside. It locks in freshness. Nothing is going to spill. I can toss my salad, and yet I don't have to worry about getting vinaigrette all over the counter. So that's just one of the bowls. The second size bowl is our 19
And you get,
cup.
by the way, you get all the colors.
All three.
Yeah.
So you're getting a 12, a 19, and a 32. So that's 60. What is it, 63 cups.
That's a lot of cups.
That's a lot of cups. And again, it's bright, they're beautiful, they all have that little ring, but configuration is exclusive to here. You're never gonna find these colors, this set anywhere else at that price. That's our relationship with Tupperware and HSN. You can only get what we get here, but this is where it all started. This is the crisper that we're gonna talk to earlier. My bonus mom gave me this.
Yeah.
It's over 60 years old.
I think there's a lot of moms that still have this bowl. This was the classic.
It is the classic.
Yeah.
If you look on eBay right now, you can find a bowl from the 60s. There was like the yellow one, and they're more money than this whole set.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're gonna last you a lifetime. That's why the lifetime warranty. That's why 80 years in business, and it's gonna evoke that emotion. I was at Channel 8 the other day, and the security guard, I was getting ready to do a segment, and the security guard goes, "My heart." And I'm like, oh my gosh, 911. And I just panicked, and she goes, "Those bowls." She goes, "My grandma." And she was so emotional that I actually gave her the 2 bowls. But that's what Tupperware does.
And that's why they're so well made, and that is why they give you a lifetime warranty. When you think about that, they're bowls, all right? You know, they don't have to do that, but they've been doing that for so long. And to know that you're gonna buy something that, heck, you might be giving to your kids is a really big deal. And I remember my mom's kitchen, man. My mom had, it was a classic 60s, 70s kitchen. So the appliances were chocolate brown.
Oh, yeah.
She had carpet tiles on the floor in the kitchen, because they did that for a while in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And she had her Tupperware bowls, and everywhere we went, because my mom ran a beach school. My dad was in charge of the lifeguards in the summertime. She would make his lunch, she would put it in a bowl. She would bring bowls to the beach for the kids, right? She would put fruit in there. You could put anything you wanted. And what's wonderful is I remember seeing these at picnics. We'd go to, I played football, so we would go to cookouts on the weekend. These were everywhere.
They're everywhere.
All the moms had them.
Oh, and every church function, every potluck you ever went to, or our Dockham family reunion, Tupperware is part of our heritage. You know, you and I talked about this one time before, Guy. They're actually represented at the Smithsonian. There's no other food storage company represented at the Smithsonian. They're part of our landmark. And again, 80 years in business. And the reason they've been in business 80 years, they stand behind their product. They make a high quality product. This is not your landfill plasticware. Even though the price points here are that of some of the disposable stuff, this is the storageware that started it all. This is the storageware that I recommend that we stand behind companies like this. This is like my popcorn bowl right there.
The thumb hole is everything.
The thumb hole is everything.
The thumb hole. So even if you want to toss your popcorn with your butter, and this is another thing where you would want a big bowl. You don't want a little bowl for popcorn. You got people that all want to eat popcorn.
How about if you're having, you're having a party and you want to have your bread bowl? But over here we've got some more options. Obviously, Tracy made her delicious potato salad. That
reminds me
sunshine.
of my childhood.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I remember my mom would make the most, and I've copied her recipe. My mom makes a great potato salad as well. I like it with the eggs and all that stuff, and they're really, really good. And that reminds me of like being out on my parents' deck, and they would put the bowls out.
Oh yeah.
Dad would be running the barbecue, and it's a snapshot. It's like a postcard in my head.
And don't you feel that little tug in your heart?
Yeah, because they're both gone. So it's like, I'm so sorry. No, it's okay. I still think about that. And listen, it's all happy thoughts now because, we were very lucky to have that. And these were literally the first common bowls that people had. And people absolutely love them to this day. You buy them, you get all three different sizes. So you are getting the 12, the 19, and the 32 cup. All three, they nest together for storage, which is great. And listen, I know you're not going to use the big bowl every day, but isn't it nice to have a go-to large bowl?
Exactly.
I mean, even if you're using it as a giant punch bowl, whatever,
Precisely.
right? You're able
ice
to get
down
a lot.
beverages.
Yep.
Over here, I'm just making my Mary Brandis, the woman that I do a lot of work with. She makes this apricot jello salad with the pineapple and the peaches in it. But I mean, these are the sort of dishes that we used to do in the 60s and the 70s. But over here, this is what I would do if I were selling that pizza oven.
My mom used to make that stuff too, but she would use yogurt.
Yogurt, yummy.
She would use a flavored yogurt, and she would mix it up, and then she would put it in a pie tin and freeze it.
I love it.
It was really, really good.
That is a great idea. Did she scrape it afterwards, like as an ice cream kind of thing?
She could have, but no, she served it in slices.
Oh,
and then she'd put a little whipped cream on top. So she'd just buy a prepared crust, do like a sweet and flavored strawberry yogurt. She put some real strawberries, blueberries, freeze it. Oh, yeah. And it was really good, and it was yogurt. So we were like, hey, we're not really healthy. We're eating good stuff.
It's good probiotics. But here, what we've done is we're not only did I use the bowl to mix my pizza dough, but because of the size of it, it's so awesome, Guy, because I have plenty of room to be proofing my dough ball in here. But you know what this could also be? This is large enough, Guy, that I can brine a turkey in here.
Yeah.
Like, how many of you have a bowl big enough that you can brine a turkey in? What are you trying to do, a big pot and putting it in your refrigerator?
The only thing I ever had that was that big was when I actually used the turkey fryer container. That's the only thing big enough.
Big enough, yep.
But this is large enough so that if you wanted to brine any kind of a bird, a chicken, or a turkey, you could do that as well. Or even if you're just doing a beef and you're braising a beef and you want to marinate it ahead of time. Yep.
But I mean, I would add these on. As a caterer, these are my favorites. I like to use these larger ones. This is a 59 cup. This one I use for my beverage bowl. I use it as an ice bucket. You can use, whatever you want to use them for. If you go and look for something like this in the marketplace, you're going to pay a fortune for it. And it's not going to have that seal.
Really quick, while you mentioned the big ones.
I love these.
So these are, these are 42 cups. These are jumbos.
Look at how big this is.
And if you buy any Tupperware, it's huge. I know, look at that. If you buy any Tupperware item, you'll get $10 off these. So that's $19.95 if you buy another Tupperware item and you throw this in your cart. That is,
you are gonna love them.
That I could do a turkey in easily.
Oh, you could do 2 turkeys in
my gosh. All right,
you
so
could do
$29.95 bonus by $19.95 if you buy some other stuff. All right, we have a lot that we need to cover. By the way, we have the 59 cup too. So
that's this one.
We have the 59 cup. Oh, I would love to get that. Maybe I'll get
Wouldn't
that
that be fun?
I
would add up, with the value pay,
you
the
brought
pricing.
Up, you said brining a turkey, and I've not done it because I don't have a container big enough, and I really don't want to put a raw turkey in my cooler.
No, you don't.
You know
it's
what I
gross.
mean?
It's gross. And you're not sure it's the right temperature.
No,
and you cannot put a stainless steel pot in your refrigerator well.
All right, so yes, exactly. We are moving on to something that's very, very special to me. I imagine it's very special to you. It's the classic salt and pepper hourglass shakers from Tupperware. So I was hanging out with my buddy Pat Wall. Pat is my producer today. And he looked at me and he goes, do you remember those shakers when we were kids? And I said, my mom and dad had them. I think my grandparents had them. Everybody had these salt and pepper shakers. It's the classic, it's almost like holding a baton, right? It has a little squeeze in the middle. It has that lock-in cap, so you're gonna keep your salt from caking, keep your pepper nice and fresh. And you get a salt and you get a pepper. They come in this kind of a very light, I love the color of the blue.
Isn't it beautiful?
I love that you can see through them.
Precisely.
So you know when you're out of salt. I've run out of salt before. You don't want to run out of salt.
No, that's like
or pepper.
Not good.
So now you can see exactly what's inside. There's a familiarity when you grab these.
Exactly.
It transports you.
When I was probably 4 years old, my grandmother went to her very first Tupperware party, and I was privileged to go with her. One of our very first purchases were the hourglass salt and pepper shakers. They were these, only had S and P on them, which you really don't need because you can see what's in here.
Yeah.
And the tops were a cream color. And I'll bet we paid as much for them. And they are probably still alive somewhere. You know why? Because they're made of the finest quality material, all BPA-free plastic. But in New Hampshire, we would, in the summertime, we would need the rice to go in our salt and pepper shakers because you get humidity in there because we get a lot of rain.
We used to have to do it in the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. But with this, there was no humidity. You could transport these. You could have a set in the dash in the car. So when you're going out apple picking, you could salt your apples. And I mean, but again, it's more than just salt and pepper. I would put all your spices in here.
Sure.
Keep them fresh. Keep the humidity down. You can see what you've got. They're not going to tip over.
Under a $20 bill, you should get a couple sets. And I remember them. I remember once we had after the end of our football season, and we were kids. We were in Pop Warner, so we were probably just 12, 13 years old. And we went to this guy had a beachfront kind of country club membership, and he invited all the kids there. None of us had ever been to a place like that. And they ordered KFC, buckets and buckets, and I remember these salt and pepper shakers on the table.
Awesome.
These were the ones that you used at picnics. These are the ones that you used at the campground.
Reunion.
These are the ones that you use when you're having barbecue outside. They're easy to clean, so if you get greasy fingers, no worry. They're easy to grip as well. They're really, even that reminds me of so much. But I love being able to see what's inside, so you know exactly.
And
which
they won't
spices.
tip over. See, that's what the hourglass design is about. My first husband and I, we used to live in our sailboat, and I mean, we had to have everything that had
that's perfect.
Sealed. The Tupperware seal is something that, again, that Earl Tupper, when he first designed the product, he wanted to be like a paint can. So what he wanted was so that it was so tight that nothing could get in, no moisture could get in. It kept your product fresher longer. And again, they've been able to maintain that seal for 80 years. And they've been giving money back guarantee that entire time, Guy. So, I mean, think about that. Think about the stuff that didn't go in the landfill. Think about the money that you can save on groceries. Think of the money you can save on salt. Like keeping it in the stupid cardboard containers, that's not good.
Well, and I like the capacity of this as well, because it's, most salt shakers are very small, and you have to fill them every 2 weeks.
Precisely.
What's nice about these is you can get a lot of salt in there. You can take it with you if you like to go on camping trips.
Camping,
boating, you do picnics with your family, if you do church functions. I mean, and the best part is, listen, they're never going to break, they're never going to chip, they're not going to crack, they're not glass. I had a couple of really, really nice salt and pepper shakers that were pottery made, and they are all chipped and they're all broken. And not only that, they're really hard to fill because they have that little stopper in there.
In the bottom.
Like,
it's a nuisance.
That's not made for grown-ups.
Take it off. Like over here, what I've done is I fill this one with powdered sugar. Why not do your French toast in the morning? I mean, there's a million applications for it. But again, you cannot find any of our Tupperware products at a lower price anywhere on the planet. HSN worked with Tupperware that we don't want to hurt our home businesses. We want to enhance the brand by bringing you products that we can remember from our childhood. People that think to themselves, oh my gosh, I remember when I was little. I remember when my mom had that. I love that Pat has memories with this.
Well, the quality of it is there. And even if you look at the lid, you can see how substantial, heavy duty that is. Because you ever notice the first thing that always breaks on plastic storageware are the lids. Because they're very thin. If you could actually get a paper cut, they're that thin. They're terrible, and they always seem to crack. With this, they put a lot of extra material into that, so that when you close it, It takes a little bit of effort, but you know that is not coming off. And then they give you the extra lid on top, which snaps in, and now you've got double sealed in there. You're not gonna have to worry about anything caking up inside. And come on, you know you want these. These are what you had when you were kids.
I know Pat's gonna go, she did not script this, but watch. Like, think about it. Any other material, you drop your salt shaker on the floor, what do you got? You had a mess, right?
Yeah.
I'll bet that lid's not even open on that, right? Am I right? It's not open.
No, of course not.
See, so
it's
that's
like a bowling pin. It just went down, and you can't hurt it.
It keeps the messes down. It keeps the costs down.
All right, I got 900 left. That
Yay.
doesn't include the 200 people that are shopping. So if you want to get a pair of these or a couple of sets, they make a great gift too. If you know somebody that's got that's a foodie, you'll be like, Tupperware. You own Tupperware.
Exactly.
Everybody should own some Tupperware.
Everyone should support Tupperware. You know, I had a lady the other day, she said, you know, I don't like Tupperware because you won't let us put it in the microwave. I go, well, it's because we're giving you a lifetime warranty on it.
And
Like
that's
that's it. Like
everything.
those other companies that say you can, they're not giving you a lifetime warranty. They're not even giving you a 1-year warranty.
No, because
we have done the right thing for this long.
Inherently, the products they're selling are throwaway.
Precisely.
And they know that.
And they know that.
That's
and they
how
know
make
what's going
their
in the
money.
landfill.
And listen, I don't make those judgments.
We're not the kings and queens.
But I know you go buy a 5-pack of those throwaway things, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Listen, if you're giving the stuff away, and you know you're in a pinch, that's fine. But you want something that they stand behind. A ton of these have already been spoken for since we introduced it. It's the new Super Crisp It Lettuce Keeper. I have a salad probably every single night.
Awesome.
I love salad.
Awesome.
What I don't like is soggy, wet lettuce. Like, if I go to a restaurant and I have a salad and the lettuce is wet, I won't even eat it. I'll be like, no, sorry, you didn't do your job. So what Tupperware did, and this is a steal, at $19.95, we took $10 off, and we're doing it for free shipping just for today. All right, you're getting
Are you kidding?
just for today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, today only.
Watch out, Pat.
If you love your lettuce to be crisp or any of your veggies, this is the key. And Deb will tell you why this works. You know, traditionally we take our lettuce, we spin it, whatever, we put it in a bowl. You come there later and there's always water at the bottom.
There's always water.
You never get it all out.
And especially with iceberg lettuce. Iceberg lettuce is one of my favorites for a wedge salad. I like to use a leaf. I love a good wedge salad. But the problem with iceberg lettuce is it's like 50 to 60% water. And for it to stay crunchy, you need it to not get soggy. So what you're going to do is it's going to come with this amazing little spike. So the spike has little feet at the bottom and it's got the little holes. You'll pop it in the iceberg lettuce. You're gonna pop it in here, and I have a personal testimony. I actually did a blog about it. I took my iceberg lettuce and my Boston lettuce from our last shows.
I love Boston lettuce.
They were 16 days old, and I had them at my walk-in at my church. And yesterday, or the day before, I looked and I went, oh my gosh, that can't be good.
2 weeks.
16 days. And they looked exactly like the day I put them in there. And I was actually looking up on ChatGPT. I go, how in the world could it last 16 days? And it said, not just the water part, they said that one of the trademarks of the Crispit is that it controls the humidity and it keeps the air out. And that's why iceberg lettuce and Boston lettuce both lasted 16 days, where traditionally, if you took your crisper drawer and you put your iceberg lettuce in any container, including the wrapper that it came in, if you get 3 days out of it, you're a magician.
Let me tell you something. I just bought a relatively fancy refrigerator about a year ago. I lived with the old one forever, because refrigerators last forever.
Right, they do.
So anyway, I was like, I'm gonna get a new one. The handle actually kept coming off the old one. So I bought a refrigerator that doesn't have handles. You actually there's little cutaways where you can open it, but it has a crisper drawer. And I will tell you this, I have to go in there with a paper towel at least once every 2 weeks and wipe up. And it's not just a little bit.
Right.
It's like a river of water.
Right.
That is what's leaching out of a lot of your fruits and vegetables.
And that's why they're getting slimy.
If you don't get them up off the ground.
And watch, guys, like we didn't talk about this, but if you watch, this is cabbage, which again, it's a large, big head, the design of the bowl.
99% water.
Look at all of that water that just came out of there. So again, if you didn't have the spike, you would be sitting in that. You know what that would mean? This would be turning red. This would be turning muck. This would be smelling terrible. So while produce and groceries are at the highest point that I can ever remember seeing in my life, to be able to get this with free shipping and handling, this is the original piece. I told you I did a post on this when my bonus mom gave me this. And Myrna, if you're watching, I love you with all my heart. When she first moved to United States from Cuba in 1960, this was one of her first purchases.
Yeah.
But this piece right here, I had over 32,000 comments.
Yeah.
My post went viral.
That's the way
because they
everybody
love
has
it.
it.
Everyone's like, I love that, I love that. However, if you'll notice,
Very similar.
it's similar, but we couldn't make this one anymore. The mold broke. So we said, how can we improve on it? So see how it's a wider dome at the bottom, so it'll hold a bigger head of lettuce. The spike is larger, and we dome the lid higher, and it's clear so you can see what's inside of it. So again, it's new, it's improved. I will personally guarantee you that whatever you put in here will last so much longer than you even can anticipate, especially after what just happened.
Oh, I like that too.
Cauliflower heads
Yeah.
at Sam's Club are $3.28. They're $3.99 at a regular grocery store and a third of the price. So to get a big head of cauliflower like that, you don't want your refrigerator to smell like cauliflower.
No.
That would be terrible. So again, it's gonna lock in the smell. It's gonna make it last very long. On the spike, you just pull off the little
You know what I
florets.
love? I love the domed lid.
Right.
All right, because we know that the things you put in there, might be bigger than the container, so you get that nice domed lid. Makes it very easy to be able to snap it shut as well. It also doubles as just great storage. So if you want to put your fruit in there, you can do that as well. I love the size of it.
I do.
It's about the capacity is. It's probably what, about 6 cups?
I would say it's more than that. I
Let me
don't
look right
remember
here.
off
I'm
the
trying to
top
see
of
if it
my
says
head.
it somewhere. It doesn't say it anywhere, but
would
it looks
say-
like about probably 6 cups, don't you think?
No, I would say
More?
closer. I would say 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
But in
You
here,
probably know better than
the
me.
only reason I say that is there's at least 2 cantaloupes
Oh,
in
yeah,
here
yeah.
and some cherries.
Hey, by the
so-
way, 8,200 gone.
Yay.
I have 2,000 left. So 80% of this is sold out. I got people buying 2 and 3 of these right
Good
now.
for you.
Well, because a lot of people will have they'll have a cabbage, or they'll have different types of lettuce that they want to put in there. A lot of people just use it for regular storage. It's funny because I love iceberg lettuce.
I love it.
I don't buy it very often because it doesn't last.
No, not at all.
It never does. And then how many of you out there actually cut the bag and take a chunk of iceberg lettuce and then rewrap the lettuce in like some cellophane and put it back in? It's the worst thing you could do, because what you're basically doing is you're enclosing that environment. It can't breathe. It's going to sweat, right? Or it's going to get very humid inside there, and then that water is going to drip. And again, you don't want to deal with that. This allows you to be able to clean, wash. I know, I love that crunch. And then just pop it right on that little spike. And remember, the spike keeps it up.
Keeps
Off
it
the ground.
elevated.
It's like,
Got the dome.
I remember I come from New England, where everybody had a wet basement.
Yes.
All right, and nobody, it was terrible. My dad actually had like mats down there that were like 2 inches high, and a sump pump, because we always got water in the basement. Well, that's basically what this is: water in the basement of your lettuce, and you got to get rid of that, and that's the way to do it.
And
this,
look, more
this
water.
keeps it up. Yeah,
Again,
just keep doing that.
Boston lettuce, if you put it in the container that it's in your refrigerator, you're not going to get it away from the moisture. You're not going to be able to protect it from something banging against it. And again, my personal testimonial, it was not intentional. I just took product from here, dropped it off in my church walk-in. And then when I saw them the other day, I went, oh my gosh, thinking that's gonna be gross. And I took pictures, and it's up on my Facebook page. I was blown away that they didn't deteriorate at all.
That's why people love it, is because
Yep.
you are extending that
The life
time
of your-
that
of
you
your
can have
produce.
your lettuce in there. And we all know lettuce starts dying the day it's picked. So you really want to keep it as secure in a place as long as you possibly can in a cold part of your refrigerator. But you also worry, if you just put your lettuce in a cheaper container, or you just keep it in the bag. I sometimes will open my lettuce and it's partially frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Because my
easily.
refrigerator is, I keep everything very cold, and if you put it in the back, this will help protect it from that as well, because it's
Precisely.
got its own little house it lives in.
What I really recommend, folks, is groceries are not getting any less expensive. Buy your Tupperware.
You know what the guy at Publix calls me?
What?
$100 guy.
$100 guy.
He
If
goes,
you can't
every
get
time,
out of there.
every time you come in here, you spend, I'm like, I can't get out of there under $100.
And I'll bet it's only like 2 bags. Like $100 isn't a lot of groceries
I did
anymore.
90. It was like $97 a day. I had 3 bags of groceries.
Yep.
And a lot of the stuff I'm buying are staples. I'm buying produce.
And you're buying them over and over and and over again.
yeah.
Like
Yep.
what you're doing with this is you're prolonging the life of what you have. You're not going to your Boston lettuce the day you want to make that
12
yummy.
and a half cups.
12 and a
You
half
were
cups.
right. I was way off.
I get the only reason I know that is just from all the years of playing with the different bowls and whatnot. I should memorize them more because I know that's an important deal for you folks sitting at home. But I want you to understand that this was $4.99. When I buy that head of lettuce, if I want a piece of lettuce to go on my burger, if I want a piece of lettuce to go on my sandwich, I don't want it to be red and mushy down at the bottom. And what you're going to get is crisp, beautiful lettuce. And again, maybe it'll last longer than 16 days. I've only done 16 days so far, but try it, test it yourself. I assure you that your products that you have at home do not accommodate a big head of iceberg lettuce or a big head of cabbage. They do not have a lifetime warranty on them.
Right.
This is the lowest price we've ever offered this at. We will not be offering it again. This is like, we have a few more shows this week, but I don't think we'll have the free shipping after today.
The free shipping goes away tonight at midnight.
Wow.
This is just for today.
They
if you
must
want to
just
grab
love
it.
you.
And by the way, yes, they do. I hope so.
They should.
And by the
You're
way,
so good.
when you buy lettuce, like iceberg lettuce, you buy cabbage, you ever look at the root end, it's always brown because that's where it starts to rot.
Right,
From the bottom. That's the part that got hacked off. So that's and it's the same with lettuce. So you want to make sure that you get this in there and you get it, on its little spike and that it's up off the ground. 8,800 gone, and you can see people are buying 2 and 3 of these at once. My producer, Pat, just said, he goes, you got people buying 3 or 4 of these.
That's outstanding.
Well, because you know what? They also love this.
Really
they love the storage shape.
Precisely.
Because you don't have to use it for lettuce.
No, like I showed with a fruit salad. Like one of the complaints a lot of people say is they'd rather have more clear. We are always about preparation, presentation. We like the colored bowls, but we have a lot of comments that go, we want the clear so we can see what's in there. So don't just get it for lettuce. This is good for anything. But again, you're getting that iconic seal. You're getting part of America's heritage. You're getting something that's not going to go in the landfill. What you need to be thinking about is, do I give this to my daughter or do I give this to my son? Who is going to get this product? Because that's what it is. It's all, when you go on some of those auction sites, you're going to find Tupperware on there that's 70 years old that looks like it's brand spanking new. Do you realize that? Like this right here is the same age as me, and I say it aged better than me, and it doesn't even have makeup on.
I think you both look amazing. You both look amazing.
But think about that. That's
it's funny because I look at this and I know my mom had it. I know she did. And you know what's really sad is I think a lot of people, what happens is, when they move out of their house or they're starting to tone down, they don't realize that, they didn't realize how important it was to keep this stuff.
Precisely.
And they figured, there's got to be a better way now. There isn't.
There isn't.
This is the way. This is why it's been around for, 70, 80 years?
But my grandmother, you got to remember, my grandmother lived through the Depression. So when she was buying Tupperware because she understood that she needed her groceries to last as long as possible. When we come up with a deli container and a little bit later, we had that deli container in 1960s, and she would keep cookies in there for like months.
Yeah.
Because to make homemade cookies, you don't want those cookies to go in a cookie jar and get stale and crumbly. Our cookies would last over a month. No mold. They'd never get stale.
Right. And
that humidity factor, as well as the tight seal, is a lot bigger deal than I actually realized.
I love that because I bought the multi-set with all the different pieces, right? All different sizes. The heritage set. I bought it. I love when I open my refrigerator because it reminds me of my mom and dad. I'm like, that brings me back. It brings me back to my childhood. And as you get to be kind of around our age, that's when you really start thinking about that kind of stuff. I remember when I was in my 30s or 40s, life was good. You don't think about nothing. Then you get to be in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you're like, it does matter. Tradition matters.
Tradition matters. Family matters.
That's what this is all about. And that's why I love the fact that they give you a lifetime warranty on their products, because they're like, listen, we live and breathe through you guys, through the customers, just like we do here at HSN, right? We need you to be happy. If you're unhappy, you're not going to come back. So that's why this company's been around as long as it has, because it has values, and they're like, listen, if something goes wrong, we're gonna fix it, or we're gonna give you your money back.
Exactly, and that's what I love about being out here for this brand. I don't feel like I'm asking you to spend money on anything that I'm not proud of, but we responded to you. You said, I want another one of these, and we said, you know what? That mold is broken, but what we did for HSN customer is we listened and we made one which I think is better. It might not be as emotional as this one, but this one is a better product, and it's a better price, and with free shipping.
There's 940 left, but you have to understand, Pat, we got a lot of people calling in right now. 400 people online right now. That's the most that we've had all day. So that's a lot of people that are all buying this. We'll keep you posted on the quantities, but we do have to move on because we have more to show you. We've got our 10-piece set coming up, which I love the date store thing where you can actually write on the containers so you know exactly how old your food is. That is coming up, and I will keep you posted. All right, what are we doing, guys? We going? Where am I going?
This way.
Oh, we are going to do it. Okay, I wasn't sure if we were breaking yet. All right.
I love this freezer set.
This I don't have.
Okay.
But I think I have to buy
it.
this
Yes,
because let me just tell you, what I should do is take a picture of my freezer. It's the freezer part is a cluttered mess. The regular fridge is good because I have the Tupperware for there, but I don't have the freeze stuff. And I have chicken cutlets from Emerald. I have bags of meatballs from Mama Depende. I have so much. I have crab meat in there. All these things in the freezer, and they're all in plastic bags. I know. I feel terrible about it.
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't have anything that's meant for the freezer.
You a set. I am going to buy you a set because you are so good. I love working with you guys. And these are so important because, first of all, Tupperware does not tell you to put all of your Tupperware in the freezer.
Right.
It's a certain polymer. We've discussed a lot of this before. Like we have some stuff that can go in the microwave, but we don't tell you to put everyone in the microwave. This material's been tested that it'll last a lifetime going in your freezer because of the material that this is made from. So get that. This isn't a
regular plastic storageware does not last in the freezer.
No, it's going to crack and it's going to break.
It does not. The gauge is thinner. It's a whole different recipe. This is made for that.
This is made for that. And then the lid itself is this patented design so that it's very hard to see in person because of the studio lights. At your home, it's very easy. They have dates all the way around, and there's a big white arrow. And you simply put the month and day on the lid when you're putting it in your freezer. So whether you're buying big bags of frozen fruit, like this is frozen mango. Over here, I've just got some leftover frozen veggies. But this is how,
So how does it work? Let me see.
So here's the number.
We'll get a close up.
We're 5. Can you see where the 5 is?
It's hard because it's white on blue, but there's actually numbers here.
So this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So 5, and if we're at the beginning of the month, this is already set for, say, May 10th, okay? So May 10th is what this is set for, but it could be May 12th, May 13th.
Right.
But it's May, and it's the first quarter.
So you have an idea of how long it's been frozen. Because a lot of things, things we buy have 6 months shelf life.
And if you write on these with a pencil or a charcoal or a marker, they smudge. And then you have it permanently on there. But how these are all designed is so beautifully they nest. So here's the empty set. This is only going to take up, we have 6 containers, which holds a ton of food. These right here are only gonna take up you can even go this far and not only take up about 6 inches in your freezer. If you have a freezer chest or if it's in your freezer in the top, I recommend it for people that have their own gardens. I recommend it for people that buy things in bulk at your Costco stores. If you're doing things like over here, my grape tomatoes, when we pick them out of the garden, I freeze them just like this.
Because those, believe it or not, are wonderful in a sauce.
They are so good in sauce.
I buy Italian cherry tomatoes in a can because I can't do that. I would rather do that because you know the ones,
They're gonna blister.
you know the cherry tomatoes that they have that grow on the vine?
The Sun Manzaro,
They are like
delicious.
candy,
Yes,
right?
they are.
I think they're called something dry, sugar or something, whatever. Sugar bombs, that's what they're called.
Sugar bombs, exactly.
They are so good. And this was made for your freezer. I'm gonna take a before in my freezer, and then I'm gonna do an after, and I'm gonna send it to you.
I love it.
Because the freezer is usually the worst place for storage and organization in our fridge, right?
Exactly.
It's the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
Like we put stuff down there and we forget about it.
Chaos. Oh, yeah. And then we're like, oh, what is that back there?
What is that? What's that
think
thing
how
wrapped in foil?
But when I was a little girl, we had a huge garden, and my grandmother grew everything, and everything was either canned, which a lot of it was, but a lot of it would be frozen. And we'd have these little plastic containers, and you drop them on the floor, and they crack right open, which was a nightmare.
Yep.
But with these now, like for the summer, when you're packing up your harvest, you can get 4 or 5 of these and go in one chest freezer and do your entire crop.
I gotta update everybody
and it's
really quick.
the lowest price ever.
All right, so lowest price we've ever done. That price only lasts, I think, until midnight tonight. I think the price goes back up $10. We have sold 800. I have 900 left. Okay, so they're almost half sold out. I mean, this is dedicated stuff for your freezer. Right? I mean, you can use it anywhere you want. Right. But because of the date thing on there, because you know you put things in like I know that like a lot of the food that I buy, like you know, I've got Emerald's chicken breasts, and I think they're 6 months in the freezer.
Right.
You don't want to eat a frozen chicken breast that's a year old.
You don't, and
If it
especially in a
says
baggie
don't.
that's
Yes,
freezer burn.
yes.
Like these are the airtight. These are going to give you the humidity that you want. That's going to control the humidity. It's going to lock in the freshness. Again, it sets the date on it. You're getting 6 containers. I don't have the exact size on
right
this.
here.
Okay.
So you're getting a 10 3/4 cup, a 2.5 cup, a 3 cup, a 4.5 cup, a 6.75 cup, and then it says there's a 10.75 cup container as well.
That's the 10 cup.
Yep.
This is the 6 cup.
Yep.
This is one of the smaller ones, the thin one. This is what I love to put asparagus in. That was what I had the grape tomatoes in. And then you're getting these. So you're getting all. You're getting 5 containers with the storage lids.
So many different uses
So
here.
many different uses. But again, it's the only polymer that we make that we recommend you putting your things in the freezer. It is the only one with a date seal on it. Lowest price we've ever offered it for. It is that beautiful blue that goes perfect with the salt and pepper shakers.
The dial thing is so smart.
Isn't that so smart?
That is just.
But I think those are some of the green beans that we had from our garden. I mean, I even freeze my herbs in here. But the fact is, the way they sit, you can get so much more things into your freezer, Guy, and it'll protect your investment. And if it falls on the floor, it's not going to crack and break like a lot of the other plastics.
These are
will.
going quickly.
Yay.
And I understand why. It's like, you know, I've never, when you go to the regular grocery store, you don't see anything that says, oh, this is made for the freezer.
Precisely.
Because they want you to put the cheap stuff in the freezer because it's going to break.
And then you're going to buy more.
And you got to buy more. And listen,
that's what I said to that one lady the other night. I believe it's okay for anyone to put negative stuff on my social media because I feel like I wanted to address it. And
why not?
She said, well, I don't want to buy Tupperware because it says not to put it in the freezer. Well, it's because it knows it's not going to last that way. This one, still, you can go to our website. It'll offer the money back guarantee, but it's a different material. This is not the material that the cups are made of.
Right.
We design certain things to respond to whatever you ask for. If you say you need something for the freezer, the chemists work and work and work and find something that'll last and last and last. We don't just say, oh yeah, you can do it and then not be in business after 2 years or you call and say it broke and go, oh, tough darts, farmer, it didn't have a warranty. We give you a lifetime warranty, have for 80 years, and it's a very important thing for you guys to think about.
And this company has dedicated its whole origin to this. Versus a plastics company that makes garbage bags and every other kind. You see them, you know the name of the bags I'm talking about. And they'll also make cups. They do anything that's made of plastic, but they're not focusing on the quality of the product. They're focusing on the need, which I get. That's fine because the stuff is cheap. And listen, if you spend $7.99 and you get 4 containers with lids, plan on them being gone in probably 6 months. They're not going to last, right?
So you're going to replace them and you're going to replace them. So you're throwing cash in the trash. And we all need to think about this. I know I get out here on my high horse, talk about the landfill, but I just graduated college, by the way.
I saw you. I saw you on, I think it was on Facebook.
One of my favorite parts about it was thinking thoughts I wouldn't have thought about. And when I started to do when we were doing the water bottle thing, it just like made me it changed me. And I thought, you know what, as a person, I wouldn't have never thought about that. I would never want to leave that to my grandchildren. I love the fact that I can come right out here and say to you guys, okay, yeah, this can go in the freezer. That stuff can't. But it's not going in the landfill. It's not getting thrown away. It's not garbage. This is a company that supported women since the 40s. The very first female vice president with a 10th grade education.
I still yell at my kid when he's over the house and I see him put a can in the garbage can. I'm like, dude.
I cannot believe my grandson, I almost spanked him.
He's gotten better, though, because he lives in an apartment now, and he realizes that recycle is the way to go, because otherwise you're dumping garbage every single day of your life. So that's what's wonderful about this.
Yeah, it is. It's part of our American heritage. It's a fact that it's a global name now. It's in every country in the world has Tupperware now. But the fact is we're making it better. They're even working right now to recycle water bottles to make plastics that are going to be pH-free.
It's not just your planet, it's everybody's
It's everybody,
planet.
and we need to think about that.
I try,
I love that you care.
That's the one that I keep hammering that home. I always say to my son, I'm like, you know what I know when you're grown up? When you make your bed every day.
I like it.
Then I know you're grown up. Because trust me, it took me a long time to get there. Way after college. And then all of a sudden when you have your own place and you're like, that's messy.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
Exactly. I love that.
This is a way to get organized. organized, and we've got more. We've got great stuff coming, but first let's listen to a little information from the lovely Bobby Ray, and then I'll be back with Miss Deb and more Tupperware sticker.
In honor of National Military Appreciation Month, HSN is supporting the Foundation for Women Warriors, a nonprofit organization dedicated to honoring and empowering the women veterans community. The foundation works to enhance the personal and economic well-being of veterans by providing financial education, professional development, and mentorship. Join us in support of our women veterans. In May, HSN will match customer donations up to $75,000.
Here at HSN, we base our retail values on nationwide information. Retail value is an indication of the price you would expect to pay for the same or similar item elsewhere, not the price at which you would be able to sell the item. Prices do vary around the country, so ours might be different from prices in your area. For more information, call one of our customer service reps at 1-800-284-3900. Sun's out, deals are on. It's HSN's Memorial Day sale. Soak up 6 days of epic savings with up to 50% off everything site-wide and on air. Plus, this weekend only, unlock extra special Memorial Day deals you won't want to miss. The countdown to your best summer starts now.
Be the first to know when your favorite brands and celebrities will be on HSN. Submit your email for when to watch directly at the bottom of an hsn.com product page. You'll receive email notification every time your favorite brands will be live on HSN.
Hey, it's Rebecca Vargas, your beauty bestie. I'm here to spill the tea on buzzworthy beauty must-haves. Don't miss Pretty Amazing Beauty Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on HSN.
All right, we're back. It's tumbler time. These make you smile ear to ear when you see them. They are fantastic, and everybody is going to get 8 tumblers with the lids. So obviously it's the time of year, you know, we just had Memorial Day, we got 4th of July coming. You want tumblers that are not gonna chip or crack or break. You want everybody to have one. So a 4-pack doesn't do it. You want the 8-pack. We put them on sale. They're $29.95. They are ideal at the pool where you don't want glass. They're ideal at picnics. They're great at the beach. They're ideal for parties. Everybody can have their own cup. You got the no spill lids, and you have the classic heritage colors scheme that I love. So you can choose them in purple, you can choose them in yellow, or you can get 4 of each. I like the variety because then I mix the lids.
And that's what I did here, because it's just, there's such great colors together. I did wear the dress today to kind of subliminally ask you this, but watch this. I mean, how many of you put some lemonade in here and then do this, okay? I could throw this, it can fall around the pool, it's not gonna break, but the main thing is, you know what's not happening? My lemonade's not coming out. And again,
amazing.
It's delicious. It is lemonade. That's why you want it. That's why it's been one of our #1 selling products of all time, the tumblers. But it's more than just about beverages. Over here, I love to paddleboard. Do you like to paddleboard? We had so many manatees. I have to post the thing. My grandson, he's so cute. Over the holiday weekend, we went out kayaking. He went out with his old 6-year-old grandma.
All right.
And I was paddleboarding, and we had manatees coming right up and bumping up his kayak. But we put the wraps into the tumblers.
Smart.
And so what that means is instead of a sub tub,
that is really smart.
I can keep that in my backpack, and you know what's not gonna happen? Even if all the ice melts in my cooler, my sandwich is gonna stay dry and delicious.
You could put grapes in there, you could put fruit in there that you've
Celery
already
in
cut
there.
up, you could do all
Want
that
some
stuff,
lemonade?
but remember, it's that classic lid that keeps that liquid from spilling out. Even if you tumble it over, it won't go anywhere. I love the shape of it, so if you're filling a picnic basket and let's say you wanna put some Cheez-Its in there, or you wanna put some snacks or pickles, you can use it. Remember, it's still Tupperware storage, but obviously designed for, you know, being able to have your beverages. And I know that a lot of people that have boats will only use these because they're like, we don't allow glass on the boat.
Precisely.
There's cans and there's plastic. You can't have glass on the boat.
You can't, because of course it'll be a terrible, terrible mess. And that's why with our sailboat, we never let people do that. But we also didn't want people to have plastic or throw away paper products that were going out and going into the sea turtles. But this is full of cookies. I mean, think about just filling it with all kinds of sandwiches and crackers and cookies and going in your cooler. Another thing you can do is you take your pink lemonade and you freeze them solid. And so instead of even putting ice in your cooler, they're like, as these are melting, they're keeping everything nice
So
and cool
smart.
in there.
And they're not dripping.
And they're not dripping. But again, this is what you want. You want something that when you put liquid in it, it's not gonna come out all over. When you drop it, what happens? Everything stays inside.
It's crazy.
And again, all of these come with, if you go to the Tupperware website, the limited lifetime warranty. One of the most popular products of all time, but for hikers, for campers, for boat people,
and I love
out around the pool.
The colors are
Isn't that
great.
so
They're
fun?
very festive for spring and for summertime. So you're gonna have these whenever you need them. If you've got kids or grandkids, you know you don't want to give them something that they can break or something they can drop. This way, if they do, there's no worries because it's not going to chip, it's not going to crack. It's not going to crack. At $29.95, that means you're getting these for what, $3.40 a piece? And they each come with their own lid. Remember, you can get all purple. And it's really kind of it's more of a violet. It's a really pretty lavender color. You can get all that, or you can get all in the yellow. Or if you want, I like the combination of getting 4 of each. That way you can mix and match the lids. These are always great in a pinch. And I remember for storage, they store within each other. It's like a sleeve.
Oh, yeah, they stack
Just
really
stack them up
easy.
like a sleeve, and you can stick them in a picnic basket.
Space.
Yep.
But again, like this summer, you know where my daughter and I are going? Arcadia National Park.
Been there.
And so, but think about this going in your backpack,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I got my trail mix, and it's going in one side of my backpack. And again, you don't want to put a bag in there that you're going to have to dispose of, right? And then I could use it for drinking water out of the waterfall.
They really
perfect.
are. They're perfect.
And they're so
You want to hear
cute.
my Acadia story real quick?
Yeah.
So I went up there years and years and years ago. I went up there when I was married. We camped out right next to the lake there. We had a brand new tent, pitched it up. Beautiful evening, fire, the whole bit. We go to bed, I wake up, there is 3 inches of water on the tent.
Oh,
and I'm on the floor. Apparently, I didn't read the proper instructions on how to make sure it was water repellent.
Oh, no.
And long story short, I threw away the tent and I went to a hotel.
Oh, there you go.
I went to a hotel.
What a good
That's it.
husband that you did
I'm like,
that.
that's it. That's our camping thing. We had a great night. It was just the morning wasn't very good.
We're going to get a year.
By the way, if you still would like, the salad crisper is now gone.
Yay, everyone. Congratulations.
I think, right, Pat? Did it? Oh, no, I thought you said it sold out. All right, so we had about 300 left, which is not allowed because we probably sold close to 2,000. So that's just a handful left, but if you want to get it, you want to keep your lettuce nice and crisp and dry, or anything else you want to put in there, it's great. It's another classic, iconic piece for only $19.95 today. That's a steal. All right, Deb, let's slide.
Okay, this one's my favorite.
Last item, this is Deb's favorite.
This is my favorite.
This is brand new. We have had it available, I believe, on .com, but we've never aired it before. But so many people have been picking it up that we said it's time to air this. And this is our Tupperware. It's called Piccadilly and Snack Store Bundle. What you are getting is you're getting 2 separate containers. First of all, you get the, I love this.
Open it up. Wait till you see. Have you seen inside?
Oh, I gotta look at it.
All right. So
look what's in
whether
here.
you're making homemade pickles or you're buying a big jar of pickles, that's how you pull them up out of there. Instead of having to have a fork that you're digging down in there.
I buy cherries in jars because I get these really good cherries at Publix, so I use them when I make duck.
Oh, nice.
And having to stick your fingers in cherry juice is now, I could just transfer it right to here.
I love that.
And then I can pull those right out.
I want to hear about the duck recipe with the cherries.
Good,
that
man.
sounds amazing.
So good.
But you're getting that, which is the Piccadilly, right?
Yeah, that's the pick. So
And
for
then
your pickles and things like that.
This is the storage container they're calling like a deli container. I told you I have a very big attachment to this. When I was a little girl, my grandmother had this very unit, only it was beige in color in the 60s, and that's what my grandma kept the cookies in. And this is, look at how many cookies fit in there so beautifully, so perfectly, and I'll bet my grandma in the 60s paid as much for the whole set just for this one piece. And again, my grandmother's cookies would last in there for months and months and months. They'd never get stale. The lid would just fit on there so tight.
By the way,
and
that's
so
118 ounce capacity inside there as well. I love that I don't have one piece that looks like this. And yet I have baking dishes that look like that, but then nowhere to store the leftover cake. Right? Here we're showing you the pickles. Now this could be olives. I made a mistake about 2 years ago. I bought a jar, or what I thought was a jar of green olives off Amazon. They're the imported green, beautiful olives. So the jar comes, it's one of the big restaurant jars.
Oh yeah, like at Restaurant
And I
Depot.
have yet to open it because I'm like, once I open it, I'm gonna have 5,000 olives that I need to eat. And the reason I bought it is I make a thing called chicad, which is smashed olives with olive oil and all kinds of spices, and you put it on bread. It's delicious.
Yum.
It's an Italian thing. So I bought it for that, but I've yet to open that can. If I had, I had
for
this,
leftovers,
I could put
perfect.
most of the olives in there. I could put the rest in another piece of Tupperware.
Precisely.
And then when I need them, all I got to do is lift it up.
Pull it up. So,
pickled eggs.
So I did pickled eggs and pickled beets at the same time. This is something have you ever tried these? You should taste these.
My
They're
grandmother
delicious.
used to pickle eggs.
And did she do it with a clear stock?
I tried one once, and I wasn't a big fan of it.
Okay.
Only because it was, what I realized when they
salty.
pickle, it's very dry.
Dry?
Like the egg was like really, really dry, but
We'll
it could
have
have
to
been just
see.
grandma's way of doing things.
I don't know, but I feel like we need a knife. We need to go in, because I actually made these the first time when we were supposed
If
to
you
air
made
these.
it.
I feel like I'm ready to go there. You ready, Pat?
Yeah.
So see how it's pickled all the way through, and see if it's dry. Do you like beets? Because it'll have a beet
I
flavor
love
to it.
beets.
So it should have a very good beet flavor
All right,
to it.
here we go.
So when
Pickled
I make
eggs for the first time in a long time.
I hope you
God
love
bless
it.
you, Grandma.
But
She
it
had so
doesn't
much
seem really
stuff
wet.
in that cellar.
Oh, yeah,
the
we
house
did
was,
too.
The house was a little scary.
Oh, I loved it. I thought my grandma's was magical. I just didn't like it when the jars, sometimes when the lids would explode on the peaches.
That's
or
really
something.
good.
Isn't that delicious?
Maybe it's what she was pickling it in.
Maybe. So sometimes if somebody puts too much vinegar.
love that.
Isn't that yummy? Isn't that, I mean, the fresh dill that we
That
put
is
in
a
here and
completely
garlic.
different. She
Isn't
was
that
pickling
creamy
it.
and yummy?
Hers were in like a yellow sauce.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
it was just,
mustard.
I don't know what it was. It tasted like her basement.
But
So,
what we like to do is I'll make like big batches of
That's good.
pickles, and like I'll make homemade pickles, or I'll
Yeah.
make pickled watermelon rind, or I'll do bread and butter pickles, pickled beets, and instead of putting them in
I do
jars.
my own pickled onions.
Oh, I love the
love
red
pickled
pickle
yeah,
for the
yeah,
tacos. Yum,
yeah,
yum, yum, yum,
yeah.
yum. But when you make them, just leave your ingredients in the boiling brine until it cools. Then you pop them in here, and now it's so easy to get at them. Now, these are designed so that this fits on the door handle of your refrigerator.
Yeah.
So see this, you can get 2 or 3 of these, and then they fit right there. So you have all of your yummy pickled
And
items.
you also, if you're not pickling and you remove the little tray, you have a really great storage shape that I've never seen before.
No,
I love this size.
I love that
because you can put
size.
anything in there, dry
You
or
sure
wet.
could. You sure could. And now take a little snack. So this is like I've made just some. We could have tea sandwiches in
Yeah.
here. I did make these. They are edible.
I believe you.
And that's that Krakus Polish ham and a little provolone and a little bib lettuce. But these are so fun because you could put your sandwiches in here when you're traveling on the road. I made little pinwheels for a little tea
I'm really
luncheon.
glad I took a bite of that.
And I told you. I think sometimes you're
No.
afraid, like, oh no, that's food
No, you know what it is?
styling.
Because I do the Tasty Show, and I eat so much during that whole thing that by
Yep.
the time I leave, I'm ready to explode.
Exactly.
So my mind is telling me don't eat too much, but I had to. That's great. And I love the display.
Isn't that fun? And again,
Beautiful.
taking it to a bunco party. You know, it's everything about Tupperware is about you're going to make it in here, you're going to present it in here, you're going to transport it in here. One of my catering business things that we are very famous for is our charcuterie, and we always do them on the wooden boards.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I can pack all of the ingredients for my charcuterie and then present them when I take them out of here and put them on the boards when I get there. But they're airtight. They're not going to get wet in the cooler. They're not going to fall out all over. Again, it's the airtight seal. You're getting this, and you're getting the Piccadilly. We've never done the whole presentation on this. I hope you get a whole bunch of them.
By the
They
way,
are amazing.
We have an HSN credit card offer that'll cut this price down in more than half. So if you get a brand new HSN credit card, we'll put $25 in your account. You can use it on this. This is one of those go-to pieces that you're going to use every time you have to go somewhere with food. All right, when you think about it, I love the fact that you said you do your charcuterie in there ahead of time. Heck, you could do it right out of there.
Right.
If you're on a boat, you're not transferring that
No,
unless you're on
no.
a really rich boat and they do that
Exactly.
stuff. And you have chefs.
Exactly.
But I love that if you're making food ahead of time. If you have food that takes up a lot of space, like if you do a sheet cake and you got 3/4 of it left and you're like,
Perfect.
I don't want to put that big glass pan in my
Right.
refrigerator.
Right.
You can scoop it out and you can put it in there for that.
But
Here, look at this. This gives you an idea of the capacity.
that's a huge capacity. I mean, that's
Yep.
a lot of cookies. We've got a half dozen Sammys. We've got 24 of the Fig Newtons, and then the chocolate cream ones. I think there's at least 24 of those, and there's about 48 of the butter cookies.
Yep.
So again, it's the way it's a rectangle. It's designed to be airtight. It's absolutely beautiful.
That'd be great at holiday when you're making cookies.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean? Because
great. Oh,
you
yeah.
never, I have like cookie trays, but then you have to put cellophane over them and they never last. Remember, with that airtight seal, you're not only maintaining that freshness, but you're also keeping all the little creepy crawlies out. Because if you think you don't have bugs in your house, you're crazy. Everybody has some kind of an ant or something in there. This keeps it nice and secured. Or if you're traveling with it, right? Because I would imagine you could probably, might be able to get some smaller cupcakes in there too. You could do a variety of different things in here. You get both of these for $44.95. It's our HSN deal price and flex pay. Everything is 5 flex today. $8.99 gets it home. So again, we're really trying to get you organized, but we're trying to do it in a way with quality. Remember, all the pieces you're looking at have that lifetime warranty. You're not going to see that on anything you buy in any of the local grocery stores. They're just not going to do it, all right? They make their money off repetition of sales, right? We know people are going to go through aluminum foil, so we sell rolls and rolls and rolls of aluminum foil. And same with plastic wrap, same with to-go containers, all that stuff. And did you ever notice the cheapest to-go containers are always the ones you get from like a restaurant or like a fast food place? Because they have to do that.
Right.
And they know you're only gonna,
Because
it's gonna
it's
be in
less
that container for
expensive.
10 minutes and then you're gonna eat it. But when you have food and you're trying to save money, especially as Deb's brought up a couple times, the prices of everything, especially produce, things like that, right? Obviously imported things, but when you have stuff that's valuable, you need to get as much mileage out of it as you can. And that's what Tupperware, that's been their message. Listen, do it, but do it right. Create a quality product that's gonna make people be like, you know what? That's a good purchase. I'm gonna get my money out of this. I really am. And if everything was like that, we would all be in a lot better shape.
We sure would.
Unfortunately, a lot of things get mass produced and a lot of things get ripped off, and that's part of business. We understand that. But it's really nice to see that somebody still stands tall with that kind of quality.
And I will say that, like, it doesn't mean they haven't made a mistake in their lifetime, but they stood behind it. And that's what I mean, I love the fact that they have listened to our viewers and said, this is what you want, this is what we're gonna give you. You know, they talk to you, they care about.
Well, and they customize, like a piece like this, a regular company would never do that because they'd be like, well, how many people are making their own pickles? But then when you look at it, and I said to you, you take the tray out, now you just have great storage.
Precisely.
And you could use that for anything, right? You could,
even
but
for
anything that's suspended in a liquid can go in there, but then you could put your sugar in there, your flour in there if you wanted to. Yeah.
But I personally just love it for the pickle part. Like if you think about, do the math, okay? When you go in the grocery store and they say it's 2 for $1 on the pickles, okay? The price of 2 for $1, if you buy one huge jar, it's still cheaper to buy the one huge jar.
Yeah.
Why don't you buy the one huge jar? Because what are you gonna do? The big glass jar takes up a lot of refrigerator, doesn't fit on the door. How do you get it out?
That's so funny you said that because the other, I was gonna say the other day, it was actually probably a month or so ago. And I was looking at the size, because I read the cost per ounce. I do that all the time, all right, because you can save a lot of money that way. And I remember the smaller containers and I'm like, it's a ripoff.
It is a ripoff.
If you buy the big one, hey, listen, that's where the clubs came from, right? Buy in bulk. You're always gonna save money because it's less prep time and it's less human time to wrap all those little things up when they can put it in a big container.
Precisely.
So when you buy that, you will get the better price and then you can transfer it into these containers.
So they're easier to use.
And now it's like you got your own deli.
And again, do you wanna watch really quick? I don't know if we didn't
whatever, you got 12 seconds.
But if we take a look, right here, Pat, see, these are designed to fit in here.
Yeah.
Which that is not, your big jar of pickles is not gonna fit in here.
And it's not tippy, it's vertical.
It's not tippy, it's vertical, it's very substantial. You're gonna love it, and I love the fact that, like I said, you're not sticking a fork in there and having the pickle fall off. You're able to pull up what you need, get what you need out, drop the rest below. I love that. I want to hear about the cherry and the duck, because I've gotten very good at duck. Do you like making duck tacos?
I've done duck tacos, but what I will even buy, I'll go and buy a whole duck once in a while, but I've got a really good website that does half ducks. You probably know of them. Anyway, it's a whole thing. It's the sauce that takes forever. Because I use cherry juice in the sauce.
Yum.
I reduce it, I use veal stock, all that.
Yum.
I mean, I make a sauce that's just,
and what about, and red wine in it too?
A little bit of wine in there. And I also use, believe it or not, I use monk fruit sweetener because I don't use real sugar.
I love monk fruit.
I like it to be a little bit sweet. And I just braise that down and then I just coat the duck with it and keep doing it. It's about a 3-hour process. But at the end of the day,
delicious.
Duck with wild rice.
Oh my gosh, I'm in.
All right, Pat
me
said to me, Guy, let's bring out the Super Crisp It because we have 280 left. So how many were sold, Pat? 2,000. I have 280 left. I'm gonna let Deb take it for the last minute. Go ahead,
All
Deb.
right, so what you're talking about here, folks, is this post right here. 32,000 people commented on it, and we couldn't make it anymore because the mold broke. So we made it better. We made the Super Crisp It. So not only does it work like the other one, it has the spike that holds the lettuce up. So it's got the little feet. So it elevates your lettuce. I had a head of iceberg lettuce last 16 days without any browning. It stays crunchy, it stays perfect. The Super Crisp It, you can see, it's wider, so you can put a bigger piece in there. It's got a high domed lid, so if you buy a jumbo head of cauliflower, a jumbo head of lettuce, it'll stay in here. Lowest price anywhere. First time in forever that we've had the free shipping and handling.
I could do broccoli in there too.
You can do broccoli in there.
Yeah.
You can use this for regular storage, and you've all been asking for a clear storage unit. But if you love iceberg lettuce or you love Boston lettuce, you are going to kiss me for how long and how well that stays. I love you guys. Great job.
I want to give you a big hug. I
Thank
love
you.
this lady. I've known her for a long, long time. She's an amazing, amazing person. And I'm not sure if we'll get to work together again.
But don't make me cry.
No, I'm not going to make you cry, but we'll be around. We'll be around. Anyway, thank you for joining me, everybody. Stick around. Look at the beautiful Natasha. She's coming your way
gorgeous.
next. Keep shopping. Have fun.
Oh my God, Hello and welcome to the last day of our Memorial Day